right, we are still waiting to hear the administration's exact plans to react to the Saudis leading this OPEC charge to cut production, oil production, 2 million barrels a day. We're told as well that the administration was sending out warning signs that would be a bad idea. As you know, they did it already. What that action might be with John Kirby, the National Security Council Coordinator for Strategic Communications. A very calm force in a volatile world. Always appreciate that. Admiral, very good seeing you.
You too. Good to be with you, Neil.
Let me ask you exactly what the administration is going to do. You can tell it here first if you wish. Go ahead.
We're just now starting this process, Neil, so I'm not in a position to tell you exactly what kind of decisions the president might make with respect to the relationship with Saudi Arabia. But you heard him say himself, there's going to be consequences, and we're going to tee up a menu of options for the president to consider. He also wants to consider the views of members of Congress, many of whom have been talking publicly about their concerns over this OPEC decision as well. Some of them are not in town, as you know, with the election coming up. So we're going to work with members of Congress too. I don't have a timeline for you on when he's going to make these decisions, but the main point, and this is worth restating, is he believes that the relationship with Saudi Arabia needs to be recalibrated. It needs to be reviewed, and we need to take a hard look at whether or not and to what degree that relationship is meeting our national security interests.
Well, it's clear to you guys that it's not, I guess. The only issue is then how do you respond to that? A number of your Democratic colleagues on the Hill have talked about stopping all weapons systems to Saudi Arabia. Just don't give them any more thing. Anytime. What do you think?
Yeah, arms sales, and that's absolutely going to be on the table, Neil. I can tell you that will be an option that the president looks at, is the spate and the scale, the size, the whole program of arms sales to Saudi Arabia. But is there any fear
that in doing something like that, John, they just run to the Russians or the Chinese, and that we don't want to do that?
Well, part of the calculus when you think about arms sales is, you have to remember that the kinds of capabilities we give Saudi Arabia is not just to Saudi Arabia's benefit. We derive some benefit from that as well. Sure. There's 70,000 Americans that live there. Now, look, I mean, again, we haven't made any decisions, so I don't want to get ahead of where we are. But arms sales will certainly be one of the options that we'll take a look at to see whether that needs to be recalibrated.
Would we stop dealing with Iran? Would we stop talking to Iran? That apparently was a linchpin here. Who knows who's accurate, but what do you think?
Will the United States stop talking to Iran?
Right.
I mean, if I assume that that's in the context of the JCPOA, the Iran deal, and right now that deal's not going anywhere. In fact, we're farther away from getting that re-implemented now than we were just a few weeks ago when I talked to you.
So if this was a tit for tat to that, then you think that Saudis acted prematurely?
We think that the Saudis acted as chair of OPEC Plus in a short-sighted manner here by cutting supply right when supply on the oil market is the predominant challenge that we're facing right now. We think this was a short-sighted decision, and
but they're not going to reverse it. The chances that they revert, that they don't look like they are.
Well, that's up to them to decide. I mean, and which is the main point here. It's up to us to decide how we want to look at this bilateral relationship going forward. You had asked about, well, will they just turn to Russia or China? They can decide for themselves who they're going to turn to for military support if they decide that that's not a feasible approach anymore through the United States, or whether we curtail some of that military support. But that would take a long time. They are focused very much on American systems.
Got it. John Kirby, thank you very much.